So I've been avoiding an official opinion on Disruptor until the 12 came out, and here it is. One thing to note about it is that it is not nearly as aggressive of a weapon as the other missile weapons are. During the course of recording this, I actually figured out what the ideal playstyle for it is, and it's similar to some weapons, but also completely unique in its own way. For starters, though, trying to be aggressive with this weapon honestly isn't going to end very well, even with the reload time being what it is, which is pretty good. Some of this footage may or may not contain several instances of hard skill issue for myself because I'm very rusty as a mobile player and I'm actually using a different targeting system than I'm used to. Trying these weapons on Eclipse and then Aegis just to see if it works well on either of the two mechs, which are very solid mechs in terms of as far as things go, and they will fit with quite a few weapons, honestly. But I found that the mechs in general were a little bit too aggressive, or encouraged a little bit too aggressive of a playstyle. Aegis you could stay back with more. That was more or less just my decision. You can see that when I'm actually like put in the thick of things, I pretty quickly run out of available firepower, even though, again, the reload's really short and I have a lot available. Well, I have it available very often. I don't really have a lot of firepower available on call at any given time. The projectile speed makes it ideal for close range, you would figure, because, well, you can't very accurately hit anything at long range, right? And as far as things go, 90 meters is like the maximum range on this thing, and it doesn't have a range implant. 90 meters is not that far, and so these weapons seem to be fairly map dependent. This right here is when I started to kind of realize what Disruptor is kind of all about, which is finding this choke point that I'm firing at right now, but horribly missing, and kind of holding it. I don't have to expose myself at all. Well, I mean, I do anyway, because I'm stupid, but these kinds of choke points are what you really want to be in when you have a Disruptor build. A lot of maps do have them, so you just need to find it, secure it, and kind of stick around that area, which is easier with bots than players, of course. But overall, I got some pretty good results, but they weren't like super amazing. And this is with like a max pilot, max legendary implants, all of that. A lot of you might think, well, you know, like it's gonna be really expensive, like 7,500 Acoins, so like the price point makes it a no-go, right? Honestly, a good weapon is always worth the price point. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's a really good weapon, if it performs better than most other weapons, it's always worth the price point. So I don't consider that to really play into the final rating too much, but it does kind of seal the deal if it is not a very good weapon. Overall, I'd have to call this slightly on the weaker side. It is definitely one of the better performing legendary weapons, but it is slightly weaker than like Graviton Beam and Minigun, I feel like, in terms of general performance. I am interested, of course, in trying this on my live account instead of just the test server on mobile with an unfamiliar targeting system. So clearly I'm not going to get the results that I'm looking for necessarily, but just based on what I find, the damage is almost there, but it's not quite. A 16 would probably be better. Even Stalker was not able to kill the kinds of things that I thought it could probably kill. However, Orion did incredibly well. So I'm thinking that the best mech for this is going to be Orion, which tends to be the case for bad weapons. Most bad weapons require Orion to be effective because Orion it like basically triples your damage. In which case I would say stay away from Disruptor for now. The Disruptor 12 could be fun, but you're probably looking at either an Orion build, or maybe you're going to want to look into Disruptor 16 once that becomes a thing, if it becomes a thing. If you're ever unsure about something, I would suggest waiting rather than buying it impulsively, because then you're out tons of A coins and stuff. So I would say this is one of those weapons where you could have a lot of fun with it if you're looking for some fun. Sure. It fits the playstyle of Missile Rack vaguely. However, it can't really do the kind of aggressive things that Missile Rack can. For that reason, I will give Disruptor a 7 out of 10. It's pretty good, but it could use a little bit of work. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. Appreciate y'all. Take care.